welcome to today's video. Today we're doing something a little bit special. This is the BPM Sport E90 M3 Harrop Supercharged, and then we got my car getting tied up right now. There's a big fan in front of it. Well, today is our dyno day. We are going to be running this car right now on a base 91 map. It has a little bit more E than we'd like, but then we're gonna run it on a 91 tuned map, and then we're gonna run it on the flex fuel map, and I have some gallons of E85 that we're gonna dump in the tank. So we're gonna see what the gains are between the maps. It'll be fun, it'll be very, very loud, and I'm excited to see what numbers it puts down. All right, so we're just finishing up, strapping up the car. The rear diffuser, my under tray, is causing a bit of an issue, but working our way around it. Oh, we are almost ready to start doing our first baseline pulls. Jesus Christ. That is insane. Jesus. I think next one I'm gonna just film from out here. Here's where we ran into some complications. So the dyno had issues with RPM pickup on some runs, which caused those graphs to go nuts. Additionally, sometimes the AFR readings was also way out of whack, but fear not, we did get a few good runs. Barely.
I don't know what that was. What the?
I'll show you guys the graphs at the end as a recap. There's two types I want to show you guys, the typical RPM on the x-axis, and another one was over time. So instead of RPM on the x-axis, the other graph will show seconds on the x-axis. The time graphs are literally perfect. Okay, let's get back to the runs for now. All right, I'm standing outside this time. It is too damn loud, man. It sounds good, but oh my God. Going, I can't even hear myself think. If I were to yell in front of the mic, it would not even pick it up. This car is insanely loud, especially echoing inside there. It sure does sound good though, but it's painful. We just flashed the car to stage 2, 91 BPM tune, and we're about to run it right now and see what numbers we get. It's insane. Oh my God.
That looks good. Wow,
Damn. So stage one, well, not even stage one, just base 91 was 319 at the wheels, and stage two was 352.
So it picked up a lot. Picked up a lot on top.
Wow, that's a huge difference already. All right, turn the fan off for a little bit. We're gonna take a little break, and Mike's gonna explain a little bit of what he's seeing on the dyno charts.
So, took a few runs to get the dyno set up. There were some issues with the RPM pickup. So on the stock run, car was pulling timing here. It was getting pretty hot, but we let it cool off a little bit and did the stage 291 pull, and it picked up a really nice gain and held it all the way to the top in that RPM change area there. So we went from 83 to 8600 basically. So it's holding max power all the way to the top, which is nice. So we'll do another run with the E85.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what's gonna do on E. Now it is time for us to get to the good stuff. Oh, time for E. About to fill up on E, gonna get the good stuff and see what the power gains are. Look, it's my wood. Always keep one in your trunk. Don't forget that, boys. And girls. I don't know if any girls watch my videos, but if you do, thank you. That's pretty cool. So Mike is doing his wizardry right now. We are going to flash the new tune, and Mike is gonna walk us through what he's doing.
So we are going to flash the stage 2 tune with E85 now, and the ECU is patched. So instead of taking 5 or 6 minutes to flash the ECU, it's only going to take about 30 seconds. All right,
well, there we go.
E85 tunes in it.
Easy.
That is low.
Fan on. Fan on. All right, I'm gonna check what our E status is. All right, so we were about E20 before. You can see as it is cycling through, it's gonna be climbing. So E56, I'm guessing we're probably gonna sit somewhere between like E60 to E70, since we still had a few gallons of 91 left in the tank, but we'll see it slowly climb up. We're gonna run it a little bit, make sure, you know, the E gets through. We are looking good. It's continuing to climb, E70. You can see the injector duty cycle per cylinder. Super, super cool. Live RPM. A lot of stuff. Man, she does look good. So right now Mike is just gonna run it a little bit. He's not gonna do really a pull. We're just trying to get the E cycle through. I guess that's what my downshifts sound like. Oh my God. Back there?
What's English have you done something?
Crazy.
Okay. Got some gains up there on the top.
Okay, so now that you guys have seen the runs, I just want to do a brief overview of my mods. So a lot of you that have been watching the channel for a while know that the first thing up is the full titanium exhaust. So this is stock headers, titanium X-pipe, titanium valve mufflers, and then there's 2 resonators, and that's it. Next up is the flex fuel kit from APE. This just lets me run any mixture of gas and ethanol, so I can run E20, I can run E55, or I can run full E85.
Next up, which is pretty much the whole point of this video, is the BPM Sport Tune. As you guys saw, we ran various maps to show the comparisons, and then we ended on a flex fuel map at the end. However, I do run full E85 99% of the time. The flex fuel is really just there for the flexibility if I ever need it. Another important thing that I think is worth mentioning is I do have upgraded injectors just to have some extra room up top while at high RPM. It's absolutely not a necessity for this car. The stock fuel system can handle full E85, but it's better to have room up top if needed. So this is purely injectors by choice and is not a power mod at all. This will not add any power. So everything else is just stock. I'm not full bolt-on. A lot of people think I'm either full bolt-on or even supercharged. Not either of those. Literally, it's just exhaust, flex fuel, and a tune. Boom, that's it. So now let's move on to the actual graphs itself and some final thoughts. So luckily we got some good numbers. The stock run was 315 horsepower and 264 pound-feet of torque, shown here with the red line. Stage 2, 91 octane, we got 352 horsepower and 269 pound-feet of torque, represented here with the blue line. And then you guys can see that RPM pickup issue that I'm referencing. In the blue line, you can see at about 7.5K RPM, you can see it drop for a brief moment. So moving on, let's add the flex fuel E85 line in there. So that's the green line. And then I'm just gonna move to the next graph to show you guys what it looks like with time on the x-axis, just so that we can have some clean graphs. So like I said, the green line, flex fuel E85, we got 360 horsepower and 268 pound-feet of torque. So this is with all three graphs, stock, 91, and the flex fuel. So let's move on to the next graph. I wanna show you guys a direct comparison of the stock map all the way to the flex fuel E85 map. So just check out the delta gained in between the curves. There's not just one spike of peak power, but rather it holds the gains consistently throughout the whole RPM. So just moving one more graph forward, this one is in time. It's the same graph as the previous one, but the previous one was in RPM, so just a quick comparison for you guys. So now there's a few important things I want to address. So the charts are absolutely great, but keep in mind they only tell part of the story. The ambient temp when we were running the car was 76 degrees, so it was a fairly warm day, not anything crazy though. More importantly though, the car was so hot in between the logged runs because we had some junk runs starting out due to the issues with the dyno. So before even getting the baseline stock run, we ran it like 3 or 4 times, and by that time it was literally soaking. So the best way to describe this is just think about how hot your car would be if you did a 5th gear pull to redline. You're doing like about 150 miles an hour. So you'd probably do it one time if you were, doing it yourself, not on a dyno. But imagine doing this 3 to 4 times and you don't even have the air volume or the speed going through the car to cool it down. You have this dinky fan that's blowing maybe like 20 or 30 miles an hour, maybe. Whatever it is, it's nowhere near 155 mile an hour wind, and surely it does not have the air volume to match that speed to be able to cool the car. So overall, my point being is this thing was getting so hot. So we had to take breaks in between to let it cool down, but regardless, it was still very hot. So by the time we even got to the stage 2 91 octane and the flex fuel E85 map, the car was just baking. But regardless, we still got some amazing gains between the maps, and the best way to look at this is really by the percentage of the gain, not just the raw number. The reason I say this is because every dyno reads differently, right? So because my car reads 360 max on this dyno and someone else's reads 380 or 400, yes, consider the mods because it's gonna make a difference, but also look at the delta between the runs because that will tell you guys a better story. So the stage 2 91 octane map, we gained 11.7% horsepower over the stock run. And then moving on to the flex fuel E85 map, we gained 14.3% horsepower over the stock baseline run. So there's still some room in the car too. We didn't get to take full advantage of E85. The dyno was just toast after that last run, so we were just lucky to get one run of the flex fuel map in. I'm absolutely not claiming that my car is the fastest. I don't wish to be. I'm perfectly happy with what I've got, so not chasing pure numbers, just wanted some solid results, and I'm chasing a better experience while driving the car, and that's exactly what we got. The car runs so smooth and so strong, so want to take a second to say thank you to BPM Sport for making just amazing tunes. So just a few more things I want to show you guys. I want to show you the charts with smoothing on 0. All the previous charts were smoothing on 5, but I want to show you how smooth these charts are with 0 smoothing. So this one's shown in time, and then here is one in RPM if you guys want to see that just to compare. But note that RPM pickup issue I was talking about, around 7,500 RPM, dropped to 7K briefly. So let's just shift back to the charts in time just because they're a little bit cleaner. So you can see it's just insanely smooth power delivery on the green line, shown all the way up to 6K RPM. There's literally no hiccups or mountains on that line. And then past that, there's barely any more, all the way up to red line 2. So just compare that to the red line, the stock run, where there's mountains and hiccups just everywhere. So you can see just how smooth the car is in the power delivery shown in the green line. So that's the tune that I'm currently running. Hopefully we can get back on another dyno and see what numbers we can get in more favorable conditions, and also see if we can take full advantage of E85. But I'm perfectly happy with where the car is, runs so good, so strong, and more importantly, just so smooth. So the biggest thing to consider when watching these videos is, for this car, the E92 M3, it's not the fastest car. It never will make crazy power and gains like the F8X platform or any other turbo car. So if you're power hungry, it's really not the car for you. You're better off on another platform, but very happy with the gains that we got. If you're watching this video, you are likely interested or have an E92 M3 already, so you can see kind of what to expect between some maps. And lastly, I want to show you guys a little compilation of the failed runs that we had during this dyno day.
This is Mike's supercharged E90. We're gonna take a ride in this after we're done, but he's got the F80 seats, manual of course, and this thing actually has a hair-up supercharger. So I'm very, very excited to see what that is all about. So they're still having issues with the dyno. I think it's still the RPM issue. I don't really know what exactly is wrong. But anyways, Mike popped the hood for us, so he's just gonna look at this supercharged goodness. I'm so excited to ride in this car. crazy. Dude.
She moves.
It's gonna get no traction at first at all.
Jesus. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, she boogies. Yeah. Power shifts are awesome.